back to my channel. My name is Rajni and I work as a corporate trainer. First of all, thank you so much for watching my first video and for liking it and sharing it. A lot of you even subscribed to my channel, so thank you so much for doing that. So for today we will discuss something a little fun. Today we will try and understand accents and pronunciation, especially for Indians and non-native English speakers. So let's start. So first of all, let's try to understand what is pronunciation and what is accent. Now, pronunciation and accent are kind of interconnected, but in simple terms, the pronunciation of a word is correct if you're pronouncing the vowel sound correctly, the consonant sound, and also if you're applying the syllable stress correctly. I know this sounds difficult and technical, but this is generally covered in detail in accent neutralization. On the other hand, accent is something that is more region based. So you must have heard that there are different accents in different countries. So one word could be pronounced differently in one country or even a different state, and in another country it could be pronounced completely differently because of the accent of that country. So the reason I decided to make this video was because I noticed something interesting. I noticed that different people pronounce certain words differently. For example, some people pronounce one word as schedule and other people pronounce the same word as schedule. Also, education and education, route and route. So sometimes I ask these people, why do you pronounce this word as schedule and not schedule, or education and not education? And they don't really know. So when I ask them the reason, they say things like, well, I remember I used to say schedule in the past, but now everyone is saying schedule, so I've also started saying schedule, especially if your seniors are saying it or if your boss is saying it. And then sometimes I get really funny answers. Some people say that, well, schedule used to be the old pronunciation and now it's obsolete, and schedule is the new pronunciation. So the reason why it gets so confusing is because English is not our native language. It is not our first language. So we learned English from different sources, mostly from school, right? So the British set up the Indian education system, which is why we follow British English in school. So we grew up learning British English, and that's why earlier most of our pronunciation was British pronunciation. However, while growing up, we were exposed to other sources of English. For example, movies or TV shows, or maybe we interacted with people from US or other countries, and that's where it started getting confusing and we heard other accents and other pronunciation. So when I talk about schedule, it is American pronunciation and schedule is British. Similarly, education is American and education is British. Route is American and route is British. So the problem starts when you start mixing these accents. So for example, there are other words also which sound different, like past and past, fast and fast, advance, advance, chance and chance. So sometimes what people do is they mix two accents in the same sentence. So somebody could say, on the first I get my advance. So first is American because British is first, and advance is American, advance is British. So if you mix two different accents in the same sentence, that's where the mismatch starts. Or I could say something like, I didn't get a chance to see how fast he was going. Again, chance is British, fast is American. So you would either say, I didn't get a chance to see how fast he was going, or I didn't get a chance to see how fast he was going. So while it's important to use correct grammar and to speak fluently, I think we should also pay a little bit of attention on how we are pronouncing words and which accent are we following. If I have to give you some background into accent neutralization and voice and accent training, when MNCs started coming to India, they were successful because a lot of Indians speak good English. But in the beginning, what they were focusing on was to train Indians on accents for a different country. So for example, if a company was American, they started training Indians on the American accent. But then they realized later that unless you're living in a country and you are speaking in that accent every day, the accent might not sound completely genuine. That's when they shifted from training on voice and accent to accent neutralization. Now, accent neutralization is about making your accent neutral. For example, in India, we are from different regions and we carry the original accent from that region. So whether you're from North India or South India or the West or Northeast, we have the influence of our first language even when we are speaking in English. This is called MTI, which is the mother tongue influence. In accent neutralization, we merely try to remove the MTI and to make your accent more neutral and easier to understand. So according to me, the best idea is to try and stay as neutral as possible. It would be easier if you followed what you learned since your childhood. So for example, since we learned British English since childhood, I think it's better to stick to that as it's a safer option. And for example, in Philippines, they learn American English growing up. So for them, maybe it's easier to use American English and that's safer for them. Focus more on removing your MTI and to soften your consonant sounds and to learn more about syllable stress so that you pronounce words correctly. If you're ever confused between the American and British pronunciation, one tip is that you can always go back and think, what did you learn in school? Because most likely you would have learned the British pronunciation in school. So that's one tip that could help you differentiate between American and British pronunciation. Another good tip is to refer to online dictionaries. So these days, if you go to any online dictionary, there is the speaker icon and you can click on it and it would pronounce the word for you. And they also show the British pronunciation differently and the American pronunciation separately. So then you can compare and see how the pronunciation is different. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you found this interesting and that it gave you some food for thought. So now you can start focusing a little bit more on your pronunciation and accent. So you just have to remember to sound natural and neutral and not become a victim of affectation and change accent into just style. So try to stay natural and have fun with pronunciation and accent. Like I always say, please give me your feedback in comments, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing so that you can follow my future videos. And if you have any ideas for any videos that you want me to make, please let me know and I will try my best to do that. So thank you so much for watching this video today. Bye bye.